So hello everyone and welcome back to this channel where I talk about football. So today's topic is Ciro Immobile, the guy that played for Lazio, famously known for playing for Lazio. I think many people don't put him at that level, they think of him as just a mere good striker, but if you look at the stats, Ciro Immobile, and the thing he has done in Italian league, Serie A, is nothing short of, exceptional. Because if you put the same stats in Premier League, you know, he had then the many of the Premier League fans would put his case to be the Premier League goat if he had the same stats that he has in Serie A. So I never take him like for granted in terms of like I don't take him like some sort of like a striker that is not uh, good like in terms of like I don't take him as a just a average striker because I think he's much more than that. I know there is a meme in Twitter that always surfaces every time Ciro wins the Capocannoniere. Let me say it again, Capocannoniere, the top scorer of Italian league. So every time this guy wins the top scorer of Italian league, this meme surfaces on the Twitter that nobody's it goes along the lines and nobody has seen him score. He still ends up being the top scorer. So the thing is with him or football in general, someone has to score against Sampdoria, Genoa, your what else? Torino's. Somebody has to score against them. I know he's not known for scoring against big teams. I think that's the main problem. But he had a lot of goals against the top four of Italian teams against Inter Milan, AC Milan. He has scored against them, of course. People argue that he had spent a lot of time in Italy. Of course, he would score against them. What about his Champions League records there? And I think I would address that his Champions League shortcomings, but it's not like it's something new that we have seen players that are good at domestic level but can't produce the same output at the European level. Because let's say let's say if not let's not take even small players, let's say the big sharks. Even Messi in the later stages of his career didn't do much menace in the Champions League as he did in the domestic competition, as he did in his league competitions. So Champions League is a different ball game. Many players have not won it. Many great players have not won it. Zlatan have not won it despite playing for big clubs. R9 have not won it uh, despite playing for big clubs. So the Champions League is a different thing, and we can't look football like this. Through this much microscopic lens, like that. He had not done this thing. He has been absolute flop in this competition. We can't trickle down to that level, because we know we have seen him score. We can't really delete all that. Doesn't really matter. League performance doesn't really matter. It's the Champions League that all that matters, and there is a truth to that, but I would say that we have to take a footballer in totality. Some players that are not good in certain competitions, we should not like delete all their uh, footballing abilities for just one competition. I know it's a big competition. The Champions League is the creme de la creme, of club football. I know that, but so yeah, what I would say that take a footballer in his totality. That's all I want to say. So this video is about Ciro Immobile and his exceptional career. So a few days back he announced his retirement from the all sort of football, right? So he last plays for Paris FC. His last club was Paris FC, and he has been through a lot of clubs throughout his career. If you start looking at his Wikipedia page, you would see a lot of clubs there, and he started his career from Sorrento, and then Juventus bought him, and then they loaned him for 2 3 Serie B clubs, Siena, and then Pescara. Where Pescara he won the Serie B by being the top scorer of Serie B, and then he got a move to Torino, if I'm not wrong. Torino, yeah, and then he won the Capocannoniere there. And uh, I would like to mention the word Capocannoniere. It's such a cool name. I think no top flight football in Europe has such a sexy name for a top scorer. It's such a sexy way to say, I won the Capocannoniere. It's an orgasmic word, that is Capocannoniere. And he won the Capocannoniere in Torino, and then I think then he got a move to Dortmund, if I'm not wrong, and for $80 million, and dollars, I don't know if it was pound or dollars, but yeah, he got a move to Dortmund, and where his career didn't begin, in the way he would hope so, cause it was not good. Didn't suit him. Bundesliga didn't suit him, so he got loaned to Sevilla, and then I think Sevilla bought him and then loaned him back to Torino, and then Torino. Then he got a stable move to Lazio, where he established his career in 2016-17 season. He got a move to Lazio, where he became the legend. He became the guy. He became the guy of Lazio. If you ask somebody to name a player from Lazio, they probably say his name, Ciro Immobile. He scored the most goals in that Stadium Olimpico till date, and that's a record. So, and he is also the top scorer in Lazio's history, and that's a big thing to brag about. Somebody being the top scorer of a club, that's a big thing. And for me it was for me, when I was searching about him, when I was researching about what he had done, I think to me he came across a guy that is very humble and does his job. Sometimes his shortcomings didn't elevate him to the level he should have been, according to me, but so especially the shortcomings in the big competition, the UCL. But for me, he's one of the players that you can't underestimate. I think he was the last good nine of Italy national team. Such a downfall of such a great nation. You have won like four World Cups, if I'm not wrong, Italy, and they still don't have a great attacker right now. They are still searching for a good attacker. They don't have that. Some would say that Chiesa was the guy when they won the Euro, but his career has been on the downward spiral from then, from ever since he got his move to Liverpool, and even before the Liverpool, Juventus last stints at Juventus were not great. That's why Juventus sold him to Liverpool. So yeah. Immobile. So when he left Lazio, he helped them to win the Coppa Italia and two Supercoppa, and he scored against Juventus in a Supercoppa final. I think he scored 2 goals against them. And when he left the Lazio, a lot of fans were not happy. A lot of fans were crying. One guy even met him and took a picture with him. He was crying. I saw that. I saw that on Twitter, if I'm not wrong, or Instagram. I don't remember, but yeah. And then he got a move to Besiktas, if I'm not wrong, and then he scored against Galatasaray in a final. And it was in the first minute he scored, like just quick off the bat. He scored the goal for Besiktas, and they won the Supercopa against Galatasaray. And then he got a move to Bulgona, where he helped them to reach the Supercopa final. He took the last penalty shootout. He took the last pen, and where I think they eventually lost the Supercopa. So, but he did get them to the Supercopa final, Bulgona, and then he got the last move to Paris FC, where he scored like 2 3 goals, if I'm not wrong, and then he announced the retirement. But what you need to know is that he's the guy that won a golden boot with Lazio, in the era of Messi, Cristiano, and Lewandowski and all that big players, all those big players. He won the Golden Boot there, and he had a great 2020. At least for me, 'cause he's won the Euro with Italy. He scored against Turkey, and I think, if I'm not wrong, Switzerland. So he had a decent Euro in 2020, 21, whatever the year was, and he was the European Golden Shoe holder. So some people were saying he should be winning that Ballon d'Or that Ballon d'Or didn't give to anyone. According to me, it should have been Lewandowski, but you never know with these magazines. So yeah, I think he was the last great nine for Italy. You don't see these kind of players that people say he always score useless goals, but someone now you don't have a striker that even score useless goals. You see, when you have a problem of plenty, you even thinks that these play doesn't really matter. Now we are in a crisis where good attackers are not there in the market. Now you understand the importance of a player like Ciro Immobile, who had to score against teams like um, Torino, Sampdoria. Now you don't have that striker. I've been watching Serie A lately. There have been not too many goals there. Like, it's mostly draws. I think Serie A had great strikers in the past, but to me, now the situation is bit. It's not bit. It's very bad. The lack of striking uh, power in that league is just really concerning, given that it was one of the elitist league in the 90s, and then Premier League took over. So yeah, I think I would say happy retirement to Ciro Immobile. For me, he was one of the great nine of this generation. People would say I'm exaggerating, but I've watched him. I think I wouldn't watch him if Cristiano didn't move to Juventus. I'll be absolutely honest. So yeah, but now I'm watching every league. I'm not that of a casual that I used to be. So yeah, happy retirement, Ciro Immobile, and you've been a great servant to football. So yeah, that's the wrap.